Circle is still pumping super hard. This is going to be the USDC stablecoin stock, so that's good. Coinbase is retracing, so we got to see if this sticks. Coinbase had this big move, big breakout out of this region. We want to see this not completely retrace. If this completely retraces, we're cooked for the short term. If this remains bullish and tries to do some type of continuation after a pullback, you know, you fill this gap or whatever you want to call it, and then you fucking run it, that means crypto is going to follow very soon after. Okay, so the two scenarios I'm basically outlining are: we have a super bullish July because we get a quick flush down to 97,000, 95,000 on Bitcoin. Quick flush, run it back up in July. Cool. Worst case scenario, we bleed throughout July and August, come back Q3, Q4 super bullish. It's also going to be hugely dependent upon the interest rate cuts from the Fed, which Jerome refusing to cut rates is obviously hurting markets. The war hurting markets. But I'll show you something with the FOMC meetings like we looked at last time. I still believe we resolve higher because hold on a second. I think it was on the weekly we were looking at. So every time you had a red on the weekly, it was followed by a green FOMC following in the bull market. So here, every time you got red, you got a green. Every time you got red, you got a green. Every time you got red, you got a green. We got a red last cycle for FOMC on the weekly time frame. So this one we would expect to be a green to end up higher. When's the next FOMC meeting date? It's going to be July 28th. On top of that, if we get cuts July 28th, we'll see. Jerome, he's obviously preventing himself from doing it for whatever reason. Most likely politically charged, which is unfortunate. But if we do get it cut, that's going to be huge too for Q3 and Q4. If you look at the last time Trump was in office, this played out very similar to how it's playing out right now. So it's not unusual, right? So we would go back to 17 cycle. Pumpeen gets into office in the beginning of 17. He gets elected November 16, right? So Pumpeen gets elected November 16, right in here. And we were pretty much up and stayed bullish, remained bullish throughout the end of the year, December 17. Okay? December 17 was the top. So that was Q4 of his first year in office. Well, Q4 of Pumpeen's first year in office would be this December, right? So it's not out of the ordinary for the later half of the year to be more bullish under a Trump presidency. Same thing happened on equities. So if you take a look at equities then, it was because it was the same song and dance. He was doing tariffs, he was doing this, that, and the third, blah, 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 blah. So if we go back to here. So Pumpeen gets into the office November 16. Okay. So he gets elected. January 18 top. So up through Q4. So it's the same idea. It's not that it's not even that the timing's off. It's just shitty price action in the meantime. So you just have to sit on your hands and just be patient. That's the reality of it. Most market participants get knocked out and lose money because they just don't have the patience to stay in the game. A lot of the times, that's all it takes is staying in the game. Are you in the fucking game? Are you actually going to make it to the end, right? Oh, and there goes Bitcoin. So yeah, so you're going to see Bitcoin start to puke down to 97K at least. So let's see, where's the RSI? Yeah, look, see, but that's good because you're going to get it out of the way. So you get it nuked all the way down to lows on the RSI. And you might get the lows on the RSI from Bitcoin just coming down to like 96, 97K. So that could be the bottom. It really could be. It could be the bottom down in here. So anyways, that's how I'm looking at this. Now, how we're positioning, obviously, you're going to get that inside the Taylor's code. What I'm actually doing in terms of making money in the meantime, that'll be inside the Discord. All right. But outside of that, ladies and gentlemen, that's all we got for today. I'm going to go fucking rip the gym ski.